there, it's Kevin with the Rogue Market here with today's episode of the Daily Delve, where we delve into the MG market to look for a card that has potential of going up in value. So I've been looking over the Aether Drift Commanders, and Hashaton Scarab's Fist definitely stands out from the pack. In fact, if we look over at EDH Rec, there have been over 2,000 decks that have been created with Hashaton, and this is a lot for this time. If you actually look at the rest of them, you have 605 for Temet and 426 for Saheeli. So this one is outpacing those by far, and that's because it's got a very cool ability. It is Esper, it being that it does have that 2 and a blue, which makes it viable in an Esper commander. Whenever you discard a creature card, you may pay that 2 and a blue if you do create a tap token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. So really, really powerful ability. Ideally, you want to have a 1 mana spell with an activated ability, and then cast this on turn number 2, and then on turn number 3 be ready to activate that ability. And lo and behold, there is such a card. It is called Putrid Imp. Putrid Imp is just a 1/1, and it's just, who cares about its ability, other than it does have that activated ability of discarding a card from your hand, and then you can activate the ability of your commander. So if you actually look over at EDH Rec, Putrid Imp is seeing play in 50% of all decks, and I would make the argument that this should be in 100% of all decks that build this particular commander. Yes, you can cheat the mana curve with things like Soul Rings and other arcane signets and whatnot, but ideally, if you put out a 1-drop on turn number 1 and your commander on turn number 2, and then turn number 3, you activate your commander's ability, then that has that perfect synergy. You don't have to rely on any sort of mana dorks, and you can get your big boy out on turn number 3. And there's going to be a lot of targets that people are going to run for this particular cheat-in ability. Of course, enter the battlefield effects are going to be something that are very, very popular. There are a lot of routes I can see this going with, like Anointed Procession. This is just there's a plethora of cards that I think are going to spike because of this particular card. But what I like most about Putrid Imp is, although it's just a common, this hasn't seen like a list printing. It's had the 1 Graveborn printing, and that's it. I mean, it's dodged so many reprints, and so the supply of Putrid Imp is actually very, very low. In fact, if we go over to Card Kingdom, they are completely out of stock of both the Graveborn and the Torment versions of Putrid Imp. And if we go over to their buy list, they're being quite aggressive, paying $0.25 for Putrid Imp. And this is something that was going for 15 cents all day long for a long time here. Torment does have a high supply. I mean, all Magic sets have a high supply at common. But if we go over to TCG Player, we can see that there's actually not that many left at 1,369. And the sales data is definitely picking up. You can see that people are buying this out already. 17 were bought for 77 cents, 10 of them for 49 cents. I mean, there's not a lot. And these are damaged and moderately played. So if we're looking at lightly played or above, we're already starting to look around that dollar range. So where I target these is I'd look at bulk bins. So if your local store has Torment, you can go and hurry and pick these out. Or if you have bulk yourself, this would be a great time to pick these out of your Torment, because I think that they are definitely going to be buy listable between the $1 to $2 range, and probably sellable on TCG Player. I would expect even $2.50 to $3 when the dust settles for this, because you got to think there's only 2 commanders in Aether Drift this time around, 2 commander decks, and as I stated, this one is by far the most popular one, and with 2,000 copies already, without people actually having this commander in their hands yet. So that's kind of the of course, there's going to be pre-sales. There's going to be people that are picking up cards that are, ready to upgrade them immediately. I mean, those are your go-getters that will look at the ED tracks, have their deck list ready, ready to play out the gates. But the vast majority of people that build in Magic the Gathering, especially these casual crowds that pick these decks up, they are going to wait until they actually open the deck, play the deck like once or twice, then they go to EDH Rec and look for ways to upgrade it. And so the sales data is lagging behind for how much I think, or the sales numbers of where this card is going to be selling within a few weeks. So expect this to increase a lot, and I don't think that 1,369 is a lot of quantity when we've seen cards sell in the thousands, no problem, especially a common like this. So again, the strategy, look at the bulk bins. If you can pick them up right now for 50 cents or below, I would definitely pick these up, because as I stated, I think there's going to be very easy to buy list, very easy to sell, very easy to trade, and there's going to be a lot of demand for this card. So I'm thinking about doing a top 10 list of Hashaton. There's a lot of directions people can go with this. As I mentioned before, a lot of the other cards have already spiked, like the Bone Miser, and the there's the 1 mana zombie that also discards cards. So really cool ability on this card. I think it's going to be popular for quite some time. That's what I like about Putrid Imp long term too, because I think that this is going to be a mainstay. It's going to stay on EDHREC's top 10 for a long time, and I can see this being a very, very popular commander 2 years, 3 years down the road. And so pick up those Putrid Imps now. They are definitely going to go up in price. This has been Kevin with the Rogue Market. Check back tomorrow again for your daily delve. Maybe we'll look at some other Aether Drift specs, or maybe go back to the Innistrad Remastered. I think there's some good cards that are at their lows right now that are great pickups at this time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching.